Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Since this morning, and we've been heard about this for months and months. The impact of artificial intelligence is huge. We've all asked ourselves questions about where we are going with artificial intelligence. To shed a little more light on these fundamental issues, I would like to ask that you welcome on board the several people who really are spearheading this revolution. In a few minutes, our Minister Muni Majubi and Natanya Sweeney will be here as well. Natanya Sweeney is the professor of data at Harvard and is also working on the confidentiality of data, which is well known. But before we move to Latanya Sweeney and Munia Majubi's session, we have three speakers, three well-known people and individuals who have raised vital questions about what we can do with artificial intelligence, who have raised these questions in their thinking. First of all, Professor Noriko Araï, please come on stage.
Thank you, Celia.
Noriko Araï est professeure à la National Institute of Informatics, où elle dirige l'Institut de recherche sur les sciences de l'éducation.
In fact, we have Noriko Araï here, who has been working on education and mathematics and computer-aided learning. She is in charge of the Today Robot project, which asks a question, vital. Can an AI enter and be admitted to Tokyo University? You have the floor.
Thank you, Celia. So can I start? Okay. So today, I'd like to talk about AI and us. AI researchers have always said that we humans do not need to worry because only menial jobs will be taken over by machines. Is that really true? AI researchers have also said that AI will create new jobs. So those who lose their jobs to AI will find the new one. Of course, yes. But the real question is, how many of them who may lose their jobs to AI will be able to land the new one? So, oops. Okay, so how many of you here think that AI will pass the entrance examination of a top university by 2020? Oh, many. Okay, some of you may say, of course, yes. Now singularity is the issue. Some others may say, maybe, because AI already won against Go champions, right? And rest of you may say, never. That means we do not know the answer yet, right? That was the reason why I started Todai Robot project in 2011, making an AI which passes the entrance examination. So that is the reason why I started Todai Robot project in 2011, making an AI which passes the entrance examination of the University of Tokyo, which is the most prestigious university in Japan. This is our Todai robot. Of course, the brain of the robot is working in a remote server, but now it is writing 600 words essay on maritime trade in the 17th century. How does it sound? Okay. Well, why did I take the entrance examination as its benchmark? Because I thought we had to study the performance of AI in comparison to humans, especially in the skills and expertise which are believed to be acquired only by humans and only through the education. Well, the different countries have different systems of the entrance examinations. And in Japan, it is very competitive. And to enter Todai, the University of Tokyo, you have to take two different types of exams. The first one is a national standardized test in multiple choice style. You have to take 7 subjects, including mathematics, 2 natural sciences, 2 social studies, Japanese, and English, and achieve very high score, I would say like 85% accuracy rate, to be allowed to take the second stage written test, which is prepared by Todai. So let me explain a little bit about how modern AI works. The clicker doesn't work. Okay, so let me explain how modern AI works, taking a Jeopardy challenge as an example. Okay, so this is a very typical Jeopardy question. Mozart's Lost, and perhaps the most powerful symphony shares its name with this planet. Interestingly, Jeopardy question always ends with this something. This planet, this country, this rock musician, and so on. In other words, Jeopardy doesn't ask many different types of questions, but a single type, which researchers call factoid questions. Okay, so do you know the answer? If you do not know the answer, and if you want to know the answer, what will you do? You Google, right? Obviously. Okay, but you have to pick appropriate keywords like Mozart, Lost, and Symphony to search. Then, this Wikipedia page will be ranked top. Then AI reads the page. No, never. Unfortunately, none of the modern AIs, including Watson, Siri, and Google, and Todai Robot, is able to read. But they are very good at searching and optimizing. So, they will recognize the keywords symphony, Mozart, Lost is appearing heavily around here, the red marked. So if it can find the word which is categorized in the planet and co-occurring with these keywords, that should be the answer. That's how Watson finds the answer Jupiter in this case. So our Todai robot is a bit smarter than Watson, answering to world history question like this one. Charlemagne repelled the Magyars. Is this sentence true or false? Our robot start making a factoid question by itself, like Charlemagne repelled this person type. Then others rank top, but not Magyars. So this sentence must be false in this case. So, well, our robot is not able to read, is not able to write, but it is statistically correct in many cases. Then how about, so as I shown you earlier, that our robot is supposed to write 600 words essay, like this one. Hard, isn't it? So, but it cannot read, it cannot write. How can it do it? But it is very good at searching and optimizing. So they take the sentences from the textbooks and the Wikipedia, merged them together, and optimized it, and produced an essay without understanding a thing. But surprisingly, it wrote the better essay than most of the students. Sad. Then how about mathematics? Automatic math solving machine has been a dream since the birth of the word artificial intelligence. But it stayed at the level of arithmetic for a long, long time. 2 years ago, we finally succeeded in making an end-to-end system which proves the pre-university level problems like this one. Okay, so original problems written in Japanese. I'm sorry about this, but so the system starts parsing the problem, and actually we had to teach 2,000 mathematical axioms in 8,000 Japanese words to make it to accept the problems written in natural language, and it's now translated into machine-readable formulas. It looks weird, but it's now ready to compute it. Okay, so this is symbolic computation. Probably this is the most fun part for the machine, of course. And it's struggling, go, and it produced a perfect proof. Although even a mathematician cannot read the proof. Sorry, Cedric. Okay, so this type of AI is called GoFi, good old-fashioned AI, which was kind of almost extinct in the last century, but we revived it and made the machine to work for the mathematics. But then, so last year, it was among top 1% in the second stage written exam, and among the most brilliant students in Japan. So did it pass Todai? No, of course not. Why? Because it doesn't understand the meaning. Let me show you a typical error it made in English test. Two people are talking. I'm sorry about English, but this is English test, so it should be. So two people are talking. And we humans who can understand the situation, of course, number 4 is the answer. But the Toda robot chose number 2. Even after learning 15 billion English sentences using 3 different types of deep learning technologies, how does it sound? Okay, probably you might be understand what I said. The AI does not read, does not understand, but they disguise as if they do. Okay, so this is a distribution graph of 500,000 students who took the same exam with the Toda robot. And now our Toda robot is among top 20%. And it is capable to pass more than 70% of the universities in Japan. Maybe you think that I'm delighted because, our system is surpassing students everywhere. But instead, I was alarmed. Why? How can this unintelligent machine outperform our students, our children, right? So I decided to investigate what was going on in the human world. I took hundreds of sentences from high school textbooks, newspapers, and dictionaries, and make easy multiple choice quizzes like this one, and asked thousands, actually 45,000 students, high school students, to answer. If you read well, you will understand that the players from the United States should be 72%, right? 100 subtract 28. So the only possible answer must be number 2. I'm sorry about the figure. There's something wrong with it. Okay, so anyway, so the number 2 must be the answer, correct answer, right? But surprisingly, only 29% of the examinees chose the correct answer, number 2. Actually, this x-axis, horizontal axis, means the level of the reading skills of the examinees. You can see that the red line goes up, so that means if you can read well, you will choose the correct answer. You tend to choose the correct answer. But there is a very popular choice, the box ones, which is chosen by the examinees who is inferior in reading. Number 4. Let us check what was number 4. Oops. Okay. So number 4 is the chart that 28% from United States and 35% from Dominican Republic. It's like AI, just picking keywords, right? They do not understand other than. So that's pretty bad. So this means, actually, we made a research across the countries, and it turned out that if you can read well, you can go to the better high schools, better universities, and get a better job. And so the correlation rate was like 0.85. It's very, very high. So that means, do you think this is only the case in Japan? I'm afraid it is not. Because Japan is always ranked among the top in OECD PISA test, measuring 15-year-old abilities of mathematics, science, and reading every 3 years. So maybe this is the case for all the countries, all the OECD countries. Okay. So those who can read well can get the abundance of the information from the internet, like MOOCs, but those who cannot read well cannot have any benefit from it. So how we humans coexist with AI, something we have to think very, very carefully on the solid evidences. But we have to think in a hurry at the same time, because the time is running out. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Noriko.
Thank you.
It was a very important question of what AL tells about us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.